What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and I've got the first Cool Tech episode for 2022 where we're checking out some of the products that have showed up at the office in the last couple months that I think are really interesting from many different categories. You have collab smartphones, another game console from Logitech, which is cloud-based, a new Stream Deck from Elgato, and also some pickups that I've made on the production side of things. So as always, if you'd like to win an item from this video, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below with your Instagram username. And one disclaimer I've got to say is do not respond to any comments in the comment section saying that you've won. We only contact the winners directly through our team on Instagram. January is typically a month that is a lot quieter when it comes to new product releases, but it's nothing short of product announcements from CES. So these are some of the things that we're checking out recently, but I'm sure there's going to be so much more throughout this exciting year of tech. Another product that I've also picked up recently is a Logitech G-Cloud. I know we've checked out the Steam Deck, which is really cool because it allows you to play full Steam optimized games in a very portable format, but I would say the hardware of the G-Cloud utilizes a lot more of Logitech's experience in the hardware space, and I personally like it a lot more. It comes in at a price of $250, which is quite affordable, but it takes a very different approach to the Steam Deck, and the fact that it does rely heavily on the cloud as well, but it allows you to play more mobile games as well as some optimized games in beta on a device that gives you a 7-inch portable form factor. Some of the options that you have include the Google Play Store, as well as Xbox Game Pass, NVIDIA GeForce Now, which I have experience with, and also Steam Link. You can also enjoy stuff such as Chrome, YouTube, and YouTube Music on here, but I would say that it is still a relatively early generation device, and I'm really excited to see how this continues to progress. But I would say the gaming experience, just based off of like Google Play Store, for example, has been relatively good, and it's at least a huge improvement from just gaming on your smartphone or attaching a gamepad to it. It comes in at a weight of 460 grams, but I just love how solid it feels. I do feel like the Steam Deck is quite bulky, but everything is very responsive in its feedback. It has the gyroscopes as well as the haptics. The buttons feel great, and I also think it is really well designed. So if you're looking for a great gaming system for the price of $250, I feel like it is quite reasonable. In the world of smartphone and tech though, I will say a lot of times things start to get quite boring. And something that really gets me excited is whenever a tech company does a collab with either an artist or a fashion company to be able to work on a product that has a completely different design that pushes the envelope a little bit from an artistic standpoint. And this is the perfect example. It is the Xiaomi 12T Pro Daniel Arsham edition, and I've personally been a huge fan of Daniel Arsham's work for many years now, and have been following all of his different creations, collabs with Porsche, as well as all of these cool artifacts that I want to put in my own house as soon as it is done. When I heard about this collab of a smartphone, I was so excited because just seeing an artist that I actually follow with a tech company that is making some great smartphones was super cool. And just take a look at the unboxing experience here. You have a custom box that has like a beautiful teal color with textured elements on the outside, and as you open it up, you have this gold case with the 12T Pro on the inside. And taking a look at the phone itself, it has all these different elements of design and texture when it comes to the crystals, the volcanic ash, and also the selenite bronze. As you kind of tilt the phone in different angles, you get all these different dimensions and ridges as you see the metallic finishes to it, but you still have the Daniel Arsham Studio logo on the bottom, the Xiaomi logo, and if you feel the back of the phone, that texture is also emulated there, and it's still very comfortable and it serves as a bit of a grip to hold. The phone itself though features a Snapdragon 8 Plus series Gen 1 processor, as well as a 200 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel secondary, and also a 2 megapixel depth camera as well to make up the triple camera setup. We're really excited for some more launches with Xiaomi and their collaboration with Leica, for example, because I'm personally a big fan of Leica and also cars as well. And I know their partnership with BMW is also very well reflected. So this is definitely one of the most unexpected collabs of recent memory that I absolutely love in terms of how they executed it here. If you take a look at some of the accessories that are included in the box, the colors and everything still match that theme. And I feel like they've really gone all out with this collab, and that is awesome. But it is a limited edition model that if you're lucky enough to get your hands on, then great, but otherwise it is relatively exclusive. So another really exciting accessory that I'm going to be featuring in a lot of desk setups this year is the Elgato Stream Deck Plus. We checked out quite a few Stream Decks last year and also featured them in desk setups and the Cooltech series. And even though it's cool to be able to customize the different buttons and have different shortcuts and triggers for gaming and streaming, this one adds another layer to it, and it features 4 intuitive dials on the front that are nicely knurled, very well built, and they click as you rotate them. You just go into the software and drag and drop everything exactly the way that you'd need it. And for any desk setup or productivity setup, it is just a really easy shortcut to be able to execute a task quickly on a regular basis. So I'm personally a huge creature of habit when it comes to the way I use my computer. I've been using the same apps for years and years, and if you've been following the channel, you might have seen my What's on My Mac episodes, and it just hasn't really changed that much. And so this is definitely a great accessory that speeds up my workflow, and I also think it looks amazing. So I've got to admit, I'm definitely not a keyboard enthusiast, but I've had a lot of fun checking out some excellent options in the past year, and one that really stuck out is from Mode. This is a keyboard that is really good for any enthusiasts out there, but also for people like myself who are at the computer for long periods of time and want a really solid keyboard, but may not want to build one from scratch or have to deal with all the customizations, but instead be guided through the process. If you go to their website and check out the customizer, they have all these different options when it comes to the mechanisms, the visual aspects, and it really is essentially like customizing a car but for a keyboard. And I really love that process and just seeing the creation arrive in person. I personally went with like an olive green one with a copper insert, and I feel like I've really liked the color green, especially in the past couple years, and this looks incredible. As soon as you pick it up, you're gonna see that it has a lot of weight to it, and this in particular is the Sonnet. It is a keyboard that has the menus on the top. You also have the full-size keyboard element, but they also recently announced a 65% version that I'm super excited to check out because it just doesn't take as much space on the desk. But speaking about this keyboard itself, as I mentioned, the weight is amazing, so it doesn't like shuffle around your desk too easily. And whether you're using it for gaming or productivity, what I love about it is that it really does curate well to both. It is a wired keyboard, but just take a listen here. It is just so smooth and even to type on, very well built, and just stays planted to the desk. And I think like you really have to try it out for yourself to know what I'm talking about, but I just love the elements of customizability, and if you're looking for a good keyboard and are really willing to invest in it, then the Mode keyboard is one that I feel like is really at the top end of customizable keyboards. But at the same time, I wouldn't say it is overpriced by any means, but definitely more expensive than some of the other alternatives that you might find. And one category that has seen a lot of growth is laser TVs. The reason why they're so great is because they really don't need that much space. Traditionally, projectors, you have to keep it a couple feet away from the wall, and it might take up some space, or you have to mount it on the ceiling. But with a laser TV, you're able to have that short throw experience with a large screen just a couple inches away from the wall. The Rhone projector is one that comes in relatively affordable compared to the other laser TVs on the market, and it's able to give you a 4K resolution projection at up to 150 inches. So if you want to set up the ultimate home theater at home, I can't think of a better way to do it because it also has speakers built in as well. Talking about the image quality though, it has a 100% Rec 709 color gamut, and through the laser light source technology is able to give you good contrast and good colors when you're enjoying movies, TV shows, sports, and much more. It also has a motion smoothing technology built in, and I also love that it uses Android Smart TV system because that is actually what I use on the TVs around the house. It is definitely my platform of preference because you have access to the entire App Store as well as over 700,000 movies, TV shows, and entertainment. So navigationally, the tiles are all very well laid out. There's different categories, the apps that you want to install, and in my case, I usually use YouTube, Netflix, and occasionally I'll have Crave as well. On the top, you have your recommendations, and I also stream a lot of YouTube videos directly to projectors, which is what I'm going to be doing in this demonstration. But the interface you could see is very snappy, and the setup process was relatively simple. All I had to do was go ahead and plug it in, connect it to Wi-Fi, and there's also some micro adjustments that you can make to ensure the keystone and the alignment along with focus is all well tuned. I would say that for the most part though, it was able to calibrate relatively nicely out of the box, and I didn't have to touch the focuses at all. Based on the projection size here, I would say this is about 110 to 115 inches, and in the past, I've done projections up to about 120 inches, but as I mentioned, you can go all the way up to 150. The minimum size recommended is about 80 inches, which is already huge. And I would say if you're trying to fill a living room, but you don't want to have like an ugly TV on the wall, then this is the perfect solution. I would put this in a room where there isn't any windows, for example, a movie theater room, so you don't have to have anything mounted to the ceiling, or for example, in a lake house where the TV may not be the main priority and you really only use it in the evening. The 3001 native contrast ratio can definitely be seen demonstrated here, and I didn't want to demonstrate it in a full dark scenario because any projector is going to look pretty decent. I would say this is right in the middle with the shades down, a little bit of light leaking through, but you could see the image still shines through very strong. If you're watching sports, for example, there's also the motion smoothing technology that just gives you a nice, smooth and fluid experience, especially on a large display that is over 100 inches, where without that optimization, it can be very noticeably an unpleasant experience. The 100% coverage of Rec 709 color gamut as well as HDR support allows you to throw any type of content of it that is in high quality and ensure the 4K resolution that you're getting is as it's intended and in the best image possible. So for example, if you're streaming a movie from Netflix, there might be optimizations of like 4K, HDR, as well as Dolby, and in this case, you have all of these optimizations to be able to fully take advantage of that. When it comes to speakers, there's also a dual 25-watt driver with Dolby audio, and so you really are covered in terms of an all-in-one system that not only has smart TV, but also has the laser TV elements, of course, but along with great audio. So you could literally just have this set up on a TV stand and have up to a 150-inch image. As for the ports, it features a USB port as well as 2 HDMI inputs, an AV, and also an Ethernet, so you're fully covered. So if you guys want to go in and check out the Paris Rhone projector for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below, and a huge thanks to them for sponsoring this episode. So this next product right here has been increasingly popular, and that is the blue Sona microphone. The reason why I like this is because it is a very different form factor than the mics that I typically use, and those are ones that have a windscreen, stand, and everything, and even though I love that main setup and still use it a ton, it just isn't exactly pretty. This microphone is made by Logitech, and as you guys might know, they did acquire Blue, who has been in the audio industry and been a pioneer in that space and its technologies for many, many years now. I've had a ton of the products over the years, and this is available in black and white, but not only does it have a really good sound quality via XLR, but it is a very dynamic cardioid microphone that is really good for podcasts, voiceovers, or situations like this. What I like about it is also the fact that it is all very contained and unified. The shock mount is actually internal. It sort of has like a pop filter and a mic setup all built into this contained unit right here. So you don't have to have any additional accessories that might make it look a little bit funny. And if you have it in frame like this, it is not only very casual, but delivers excellent sound quality, as you can probably tell from the sound test. So something else that we had a very rare opportunity to check out recently is the Mercedes Vision AVTR concept car inspired by AVTR. It was first shown at CES a couple years back, which of course is a consumer electronics show, and this is a crazy piece of tech. You take a look at it and it is a car that just looks like something of the future and can't actually drive, and honestly, that was the response that I got the most when I posted this on social media. But in fact, not only is it able to drive, but it's taken a very unique and conceptual approach to every aspect of it, from the exterior and the scales that react to the environment, as well as the way it steers and the bulbous wheels that have a crab-like movement, as you can see right here. It is a fully electric car that obviously won't make its way to the market, but being able to experience a piece of tech like this in what Mercedes is working on, and they've definitely got a lot of different projects going on at the same time, is definitely a good sign into their design innovation and technological advancements through capabilities moving into the future of electric cars based on the current lineup and what's to come in the future. So one type of product that I love featuring in the Cooltech series is whenever there's a product that tries to change the game or reinvent a space that may not have as much innovation compared to others. And this is called the OPAL C1 Webcam. For starters, it features an f1.8 aperture, which makes it the fastest webcam, and it also features a 7.4mm Sony 4K sensor. Not only is it able to let in 2.4 times more light, it is also able to give you good bokeh, and it is a plug-and-play setup, but through the OPAL software, there are 20 different parameters that you can go ahead and adjust and customize to give you the best image quality and the best sound quality possible. When it comes to the design itself, I think it looks awesome. It is available in white and black, and it just has like this nice contrast to it because I went with the white one to go with my Mac setup, and it also has a really cool texture. And on the front, you also have your different mic pickups as well, and it just clips on like any traditional webcam, but they've also included a nice coiled cable that comes out of the back. And generally speaking, even though it still looks like a webcam, I think it is just more uniquely designed than the typical ugly webcam that clips on the top of your monitor. So at the start of the year, I would say there's a ton of camera gear arriving at the office because we're trying to figure out what works best for the workflow and what products that we want to use to be able to create about 100 videos a year on the road and also in the office. And one of my favorite pickups recently has been the Blackmagic 6K Pro camera. This camera is very recommendable because it not only comes in at a price point that is relatively affordable for a cinema camera professional grade option, but it also has a lot of elements that provide ease of use, but also excellent image quality and flexibility in post. The 6K Pro camera, hence its name, is able to record at a 6K resolution, have a nice flat picture profile, have excellent dynamic range, but also give you features such as built-in NDs, gyro stabilization, and most importantly, RAW. But this camera is one that I would say for its price point really gets you into the cinema world. And what I love about it as well is that it has a large touchscreen display on the back that allows you to change all the settings very easily, and it's very intuitive and straightforward. When it comes to the I/O, you have HDMI as well as USB Type-C and the audio inputs, mini XLR, and you can record directly to the SSD and also rig it up exactly the way you like, whether you want to use like a V-mount battery, and there's a great ecosystem of accessories as well. So one product that came out towards the end of last year is the iPad Pro M2. And specifically, the 13-inch model is the one that I have right here. And the reason why I'm waiting until now to really use it is because I was waiting for DaVinci Resolve app to come to the iPad. I feel like this is definitely a really good step in the direction of being able to run a pro workflow on a mobile tablet, because it definitely has quite a few advantages to bringing a laptop everywhere, but I still feel like there's so much more to be unraveled in terms of the performance capabilities of this tablet and the software that is available to take advantage of that. This iPad, for example, has a Liquid Retina XDR display that has ProMotion as well as up to 1600 nits of brightness in HDR with 1000 nits sustain. So you get an incredible display, a really nice and intuitive experience with the Apple Pencil, for example, in conjunction with the ProMotion. And whether it's for multimedia or productivity, it is just an amazing all-around device that I love using, especially with this keyboard combination. But apps like DaVinci Resolve have been able to show you what this is capable of when it comes to video editing on the system. I love doing all of my color grading and some of the base edits in DaVinci Resolve, but I also use Final Cut Pro in conjunction with that in my main editing workflow. So I'm really excited and hope Apple continues to push that when it comes to professional apps that are natively available on the iPad. The M2 processor gives you a 15% improvement in the CPU and up to a 35% improvement in the GPU. And I've got to say, if you have the previous generation, you don't necessarily need to upgrade if you aren't really taking advantage of it fully. And I feel like the M1 was already very powerful, but if you're looking for a new iPad and want to be able to use apps like DaVinci in conjunction with the desktop version, then I feel like having that extra graphics performance is definitely worth it. And the So another package that also showed up at the office recently is from our friends at Taylormade and the Stealth 2 driver. Last year they introduced the original Stealth with the carbon wood technology that is a bit of a unique approach to the traditional driver, and this year the design has a lot of different similarities, but at the same time integrates a weight system that is adjustable that people know and loved in the past. Some of the new features include the 60x carbon twist face design features and an enhanced version of the inverted cone technology to help maintain ball speeds on off-center strikes and increase the forgiveness as well. Another notable feature is that it has twice the amount of carbon compared to the previous Stealth, and the sound profile is relatively similar, that is both bright and powerful and a little bit more high-pitched. I will say I usually like the far more hollow sound that I might get on a Cobra driver, but for those who enjoy it, it has a very satisfying sound that gives you very useful feedback as to where you struck on the club. Inside this box also included a cool speaker that you can bring on the course, as well as a Bluetooth Golf Stealth 2 rangefinder, which is something that I don't have at the moment. Sport technology is always something that we really enjoy checking out, and this is the latest generation of drivers from Taylormade that also include the hybrid and the fairway options, and those also include the unique feature of the weight. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this Cool Tech episode, and I hope you enjoyed it, where we checked out a whole variety of products. We also checked out different collabs. Smartphone technology and cameras are definitely going to make a big push this year, and I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Apple when it comes to the periscope camera finally. And this episode is also a good reflection of some of the episodes that we want to bring back, including desk setups and setup makeovers, which you guys know and loved. And I know it's been a long time away, but I've just been really busy with travel in the past year. And so we're gonna try to bring that back as soon as possible because we want to make videos that you guys enjoy. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.